Hello everybody, this is me, Amin.
This is Alex.
And welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About. And in this episode, we're gonna... Okay, so usually we cover 5 stories and break down the headlines, right? So in this episode, we're gonna cover one story because it's such an interesting story and there's so many theories and questions behind it that we feel that we should dedicate one episode to peel the onion, so to speak, and to go through the layers and to dig deeper and find out what's the truth of what happened. So what is this story about? This is Thursday, 9th of March. So this happened in the last week of February, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So what happened was a businessman lost 1 million ringgit, he claimed, and he claimed it's because of a scam.
Yep.
And I think a lot of the news outlets ran with the story to say that he lost a scam. So what's interesting to me is, and why I want to cover this story is because I believe there's 2 sides of the story. And in the middle is the truth. Mm-hmm. Now, we've been hearing a lot about what the victim has to say about what happened. Obviously, the bank that is involved, or not involved, but the bank that is incidentally where the money came from, has not really said anything much in terms of detail. Maybe they issued like a standard statement, like a PR statement. And then there's also Celcom, where the money was transferred to. Okay, so I'm gonna let Alex kind of break down the chronology of what happened with this 1 million ringgit. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna peel the onion and talk about what are the possible theories and whether what has been claimed did happen, and maybe figure out what actually happened based on what we know, what we've read, and what we've researched. Right? Yep. Okay, so what actually happened?
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. So the first thing is that on a Sunday, 26 February, so this businessman in Kuching, Sarawak, he claimed that he lost money just after receiving a phone call. So based on his testimony, which was actually shared by Michael Kong, he's a special advisor of a DAP Sarawak chief, YB Chong Chien Zhen. So basically, he went to DAP for help. So based on what is shared on Facebook, right? So he said that Mr. Lee, the businessman, he received an anonymous phone call from someone who claimed to be from Pos Laju. Okay. Typical, we also hear that all the time, right? So the caller claimed that there's a package for him and asked Mr. Lee to send his bank OTP. So he said, being a savvy businessman, he sensed something was wrong. So he hung up the call. He didn't entertain the call. Okay. And after the call...
So he didn't provide the OTP.
He didn't provide OTP.
Okay, that's key, right? So to this story, that's key.
Yeah,
he didn't provide.
Yes. Good step. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Do not provide your OTP to anybody.
Yes, pandai.
But despite doing that, he still lost his money.
Yes, and after that, he felt like, let me just check if there's something going wrong. So he checked his bank account and discovered that a whopping 1 million ringgit was withdrawn from his bank account without his approval or authorization, and based on the bank records, it was transferred to Celcom Sdn Bhd. And they also shared the screenshot of the Maybank Kill app. There are 2 transactions to Celcom Sdn Bhd, 500,000 ringgit each.
From his Maybank account.
Yes.
So this is on his Maybank to You app, right?
Yes.
I saw the screenshot.
26 February, yes. 2 transactions.
Okay, so I'm surprised. So it's good that his millionaire senses were tingling. Yes. And, it's amazing for me to know that somebody has 1 million ringgit in their account, and to know that 1 million ringgit can just go out means that person has more than 1 million ringgit in his personal bank account.
Possibly.
Okay, and then after that,
the next day, 27, he went. So basically, approached this DAP special advisor, made police report, and then together with this special advisor, they went to follow up with Celcom and Maybank. Yep. So Celcom and Maybank, they received a report. I think they did some investigations, and the next day, Celcom returned back the 1 million ringgit back to his account, and he also shared the update on Facebook on 1st of March with a screenshot showing that 1 million ringgit was returned by Celcom Mobile Sdn Bhd.
Wow, so this is one of the rare occasions where a person got their money back after so-called being scammed.
Yeah, and then because one crucial information here is that they also contact the National Scam Response Center 997. So 997, for those who don't know, there's NSRC is actually like a one-stop call center, 997, that has the police, MCMC, the Bank Negara Malaysia. So their role is, if there's a scam, right, they'll investigate, and BNM will try their best to stop the outflow of funds, especially people from transferring money out of the country. Yeah. So that's supposed to be the one-stop center. So if anyone who believes they are scammed, call this number immediately. The earlier you call, the faster they can recover your money.
997.
Yes.
And I think, right, this is a huge win for them, because last year alone, the NSRC was able to claw back 1.4 million ringgit in terms of scammer funds.
Yep. So KPI achieved in.
So this is more than 50%.
Yes.
So this is a huge win for them. It's
Yes.
like, oh wow, they don't have to do any work for 6 months.
No, like more work to do.
No, I'm just joking.
Yes.
Okay, so I have the statement from Michael Kong here on Facebook. So he
Yes.
put out a statement on Facebook. I'm just going to read excerpts of the statement.
Yes.
Right? So the statement says, so the second paragraph says, on Sunday, Mr. Lee, the victim, discovered that his money, 1 million ringgit, in Maybank account was transferred out without his authority and knowledge. He immediately called the bank, and on YB Chong Chien Jen's advice, called 997. Then the statement goes on to say, however, the fact that such huge amount could be transferred out of one's account without the account holder's knowledge shows clearly that there was indeed a security flaw in the bank's system. I hope that this becomes a lesson for the bank and all other banks, and that decisive action be taken to provide better security for their customers. Okay, and then last part that I want to read in his statement is, nonetheless, there are still many questions left unanswered, such as how could such a huge transaction happen? It is absolutely not normal to see 500,000 being transferred away from one's personal saving account, because there are transfer limits in place to safeguard against such transactions. At the same time, how can the transfers take place when no OTP or notification was ever sent to Mr. Lee? All right, I'm going to stop reading the statement, because the statement goes on and on.
Yep.
This last paragraph, I think, is a great place for us to start about this discussion. Okay, where I see there's two sides of the story, right? And I'm not trying to blame the victim here. I want to make it very clear, I'm not victim blaming here. But if you look at the stats, okay, I don't have the numbers, but we've been reading about scams, we've been covering about scam stories, blah blah blah. So we know a bit about what's going on, right? We know there are the Macau scam, the phishing scam, the lover scam. So I don't have a number, but I think majority of these scams, again, I don't want to victim blame, but require the victim to divulge or disclose certain elements or certain private elements of their banking info.
Yes.
For the lover scam, for example, it takes it up a notch, where that person has to share pictures, blah 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 blah, right? So most of the scams happen when somebody shares OTP, somebody shares password, or they click on a bad link, like whether it's through SMS or WhatsApp, and they go to a page that looks like Maybank or Celcom, and they try to key in their details, and this happens.
And also, don't forget malwares as well, especially for Android devices, whereby they can actually sniff your OTP out.
Wow, that's quite scary.
Yeah, that's how malware works.
They can read the SMS, right?
Yes.
So, and then we also covered where BNM has issued 5 steps or 5 criterias for banks. So it's recommended. It's not, I don't think it's something that is compulsory. I mean, it's what they claim, but BNM cannot really do anything to banks that don't follow this. So there are 5 steps, right? I think number 1 is to give a time when you change your phone.
Register new device, yes.
Register your new device, and then they want to eliminate OTP. Yes. They want to introduce
secure
tag, and then Face ID or biometrics for you to release the funds. So they've tightened up the process, and I'm not defending the banks either, because there is still a lot that they need to do to improve in terms of their security. So my issue here is it possible for you to now? Okay, the question's here, right? Is it absolutely not normal to transfer 500,000 ringgit in a day?
For normal people, no, because the reason being is how was mentioned, right? banks have set limits, daily limits. You cannot just transfer as much as you want. So going back to Maybank's website, right? On the website, there are limits. So let's say for individuals, for any interbank transfers, okay, interbank gyro transfers to accounts, there's a limit of 30,000 ringgit per day. Last time. Now it's increased to 50,000 ringgit. Okay, and then for do it now transfers, it's also 50,000 ringgit. And then for business side, sole proprietors, okay, the limit was 100,000 ringgit per day. The new daily limit, 100,000 ringgit a day. So you look at this limit, 100,000 and 50,000 ringgit a day. Normally, you cannot exceed that.
Okay,
so for transfers to be very clear to accounts,
third-party accounts
outside Maybank or interbank account, means within Maybank itself. Those are the limits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there are loopholes in this limit, and I want to get into the details here. Number one, is it absolutely not normal? If it's a normal bank account, it's not normal. But I think this is not a normal bank account.
Well, this
and when you have at least R1 million liquid in your bank account, right? You get special privileges.
Yeah, you unlock some special
from
stuff.
the bank, right? You don't pay fees. The bank, you don't have to go to the bank. The bank come to you.
Yes.
And I'm sure this person. I'm not. It's assumption and bordering speculation here, but I'm pretty sure that he enjoys privileges as such, and his transfer limit would be higher. The other thing that I thought about is credit cards, right? So you can have a credit card that has a credit limit of R1 million in theory, right? In that way, you can transfer money from your account to your credit card to pay for your credit card. So that's one lobang, but it's not something that we want to cover here in detail because it's not the method of the scam right now. Okay,
correct.
but it's possible. So I don't think for
This scenario.
For this scenario, for him to say that it's not normal to see 500,000 ringgit being transferred applies because this is not a normal scenario. This is not a normal bank account. And something really weird is going on, right? In this case, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then can you lose money with one phone call?
Definitely not, because it's not like it's not like a phone call can just suck money out from your
It's not like there's like some matrix shit going on where the feels like okay, I'm connected. Okay, take the money out.
It's not. There's no. So okay, think about what is required to get the money out. Normally scams, right? The first thing they ask for is username and password.
Yeah. Okay. Two things, right? Okay. Username and password. Sorry to interrupt, but okay. I want to categorize it this way. Number one is you gotta initiate the transfer, you gotta authorize the transfer, and you gotta and you have to break the limits for the transfer to go. If it's within the limit, right, then the transfer will not go in terms of the bank account. What about, because this is this money is now transferred to Celcom, right? What about, so we talk about limits to third party, credit card, other Maybank accounts, other bank accounts, and credit cards, right? But what about paying bills? Is there a limit?
So interestingly, after I do my checking, right? So you saw the limits for account transfers. Bill payments is not considered an account transfer. It's a bill payment.
It's a payment.
It's a bill payment. So how bill payment works is this. When, let's say for example, you have an account, right? Let's say you have your TMB bill, Celcom bill, Maxis bill, or Astro bill, whatsoever, right? There are two things need to be involved first. First is not everyone can be on that list. So the banks will have to do their due diligence and checks to authorize a bill payee.
Yeah, so they got to check the account number, blah, blah, blah. Make sure that if I pay, it goes into my billing account and is credited to my bill lah. That means it's to make sure that I paid the bill.
Yeah, to make sure that okay, you pay to this the utility company or ISP must be registered with them and make sure this certain account number, let's say your TMB bill account or Celcom postpaid account number, whatever, is legit, is genuine. So that has to be verified first. So to do that, you need to have OTP. So the banks will check, make sure that this pay is correct and this account is correct and it can be safe. And then the second part is when you want to first
make the payment.
The first time you make payment, you need to have OTP exactly to add that in. So once that's in, it's authorized. So there's no more checks after that because it's gone through the process. The receiver has been vetted, correct. And then you adding your account in, you confirm that you want to add this as a favorite biller. That's verified. So 2 checks done, confirm. So that's only verification required because out of that, what else can go wrong?
Yep.
Logically.
And the big difference here is where where in transferring to other accounts, you set the limit and there is a limit. With payments, there is no limit.
For bill payments, there's no default limits, but it is possible to set limits manually. But that's
So it's the other way around lah.
Yes.
Right? So there's no limit, but you can set a limit.
Yes, for most bank transfers is bank set this limit already, and bank
That's the maximum.
that's the maximum already. They adjust whatever you want.
You can adjust within the maximum, right?
Yes, but there is a limit.
Yes.
But for bill payments, there's no limit.
Theoretically, there's no limit.
Yeah, because the thing is, why
Who in their right mind?
Because think about it logically, right? Your bills, right?
Yeah.
You pay exactly what you bill, lah. Why you pay more
Why you
for
pay
what?
extra for what?
Yeah.
Why are you such a good paymaster?
Yeah.
So who in the right mind would want to pay 500,000 ringgit into a Celcom account? Who in the right mind has 500,000 ringgit due to Celcom?
Yeah.
Nobody. I don't think so.
Unless you're buying Udo lah.
Yeah, or you're buying a site or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Okay, I want to go into what is unlikely, but I think it's a question that we should
Yes.
cover. Is it possible? We discussed about this, right? So since paying a bill to a company like Celcom theoretically does not have a limit, and you set the limit, right?
Yep.
And you don't actually have to set the limit for the transaction to go through. It's
Yep.
not a requirement. You
Yep.
can set, but you don't have to.
Yes.
So it still can go through.
Yep.
Once everything is verified, is it possible that instead of receiving a call where the person requested the OTP, that this victim, again, not victim blaming here, I'm just discussing the theory,
Yeah, possibilities.
that he
Mistakenly.
accidentally keyed in 500,000 when he wanted to key 500 or 550 ringgit. Is it possible?
It is possible to type like 500,000 and send. But is it likely to? But the thing is, every time you pay a bill, do you actually pay in clean numbers?
Sometimes when I'm rushing, I just look at, let's say if my bill is 379 ringgit and 57 cents. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay lah, whatever lah, just pay 600 ringgit, 400
Whoa.
ringgit. Sorry, 400. I'll pay extra because I know
Okay.
it gets credited.
Okay.
I'm not going to lose the money.
Yes.
And that means I just pay less at the end of next month. So not really
Okay.
an issue.
Yeah, I mean it's possible
Yeah.
to do that, but to do it twice.
So if you go down it's very unlikely. Okay lah, we're trying to like really
Poke holes
cook
here,
up a scenario here.
Yeah.
Okay, you can possibly make the mistake. I mean, you can possibly make a wrong transaction twice, but the likelihood of you making a wrong transaction twice with the same amount and the same mistake twice is almost not to say impossible,
Very
but very
unlikely.
unlikely.
Very unlikely,
Yes, very
yes.
unlikely. So
Yeah.
we can throw that theory out of the window because when I read the story, I really didn't believe that you can extract money from just a phone call. So I
Yep.
thought the victim was like not telling the truth, because you know when it comes to all the lover scams, and from what we know, they
They don't share the full details.
yes, it's like I'm the victim. That's the thing that happened. It's wrong.
Yeah,
blah
yeah.
blah 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 blah. But actually, when you dig deeper, you actually give the number.
Yeah.
You shared the picture.
Also-
You visited this wrong website.
Actually, like we mentioned before, right? A lot of victims, right? When they do certain transactions, right, they don't realize they're scammed because that's how phishing works. Phishing is so well, right? They got lead to a site which they 100% believe that it's a legit site, but actually it's not. They don't realize they're being scammed. So that's why
Yeah, that's true. And we also talked about, right, you have to look at the lock icon in the website.
Yes.
If you get like a weird SMS, you check the URL. If
Yep.
it's like Celcom, right, but the
the
spelling
O
is
zero.
S or the O is 0
Yes.
or the E is 3,
Yep.
then you know it's not
Yeah,
correct.
Correct.
I mean, okay, again, I know it's very easy for us to say it, but there are millions of people in Malaysia, and scams won't work if scams only work through the volume game.
Yep.
You just funnel millions of people through a scam funnel.
Yep.
You get one, you good.
Yep.
Because it's zero investment, ma.
And also, I want to say it's very important we have these discussions because whenever there's a scam story, right, nobody gets the full picture. So
Yeah.
how are people going to learn? So the reason why we want to uncover this so that people are aware. Okay, here's are the possible things that could happen.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that you are aware and can prevent this from happening to you.
Yep. Okay, so we know that it's not a mistake.
Yep.
Is it a
Unlikely
phishing
mistake?
Okay, okay. We know it's not a mistake. Like really, I don't think so lah. Because that's what that went inside my mind. It's like, okay, it could be a mistake lah. And then when we go deeper, it's like, no lah, you cannot. 500,000 one time, okay, mistake. 500,000 the second time, something's fishy. You're
Yep.
drunk or what? What's going on?
Yeah.
Right. Do I want to go through the scenarios, or do you just want to tell me what you think?
Okay. Up
Because
to you.
do you want to say, is it a phishing scam?
I got a feeling it potentially be phishing scam because like as most of the scams reported, they don't tell a full picture. I feel that looking at the scenario, right? Okay, the first thing that has to be compromised definitely would be the username and password. That's the first thing. How has it been done? It's a potential phishing or someone managed to get the username password from some other means. But the one thing that I can say that I'm quite sure is that his username and password is compromised because that's the first line of defense to ever access someone's account. You need to have username and password. So in this scenario, I believe username and password has been compromised.
So the scammer know his username, know the victim's username and password.
Yes.
Through what method, we don't know.
We don't know.
It could be
Phishing scam.
phishing. It could be easy to guess.
Yes. Or maybe he involuntarily mentions share somewhere or
Or
save
it could
somewhere,
be on a piece of paper.
It could be anywhere.
And I don't know whether scamming is like murder because, what I want to say is, when it comes to murder, the first person you investigate is the person that's closest to you. So if a woman that is somebody's wife that has been killed, you investigate the husband first. So it could be that somebody close to him that knows the password. Maybe, I don't know. We don't know this person.
Because we also don't know whether this is a personal account or company account. We never know. Yeah.
Okay, so but these are the possibilities.
Yeah, for me, it's high chances. Is first, I think definitely I would say using password has been compromised.
It's funny that you mentioned company account because the dynamics of a company account is totally different. So let's try to make the argument simpler. Okay. If you want us to talk about whether it's a company account, maybe we'll do it on another episode. But because company accounts you can transfer RM1 million.
Yeah.
And if you look at the statement, it says here, it's absolutely not normal to see 500,000 being transferred away from one's personal account.
Yeah.
So we know that this is a personal account.
Okay.
Good. All right.
Yes.
So we've eliminated the company account.
Yeah.
We know that his account, his username and password has been compromised.
Yes.
With a username and password, you can check the account balance.
Yes, you can check account balance.
You can access a lot of information. You can even request to change the phone number, change password, blah blah blah. But that requires one critical component, which is the OTP
or the secure tag whatsoever.
Yes.
And also, what would a scammer normally do if you access someone's account?
I don't know. I'm not a scammer.
Transfer money out lah.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
take the money out.
Take the money out. Like that's the primary thing you want to do. You want to withdraw the money.
That's
out.
what you want to do.
Yeah. That's your whole
That's
objective
your
of scamming
mission.
people.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to take it and donate.
You're not going to
charity.
put money in.
Yeah, you're not going to. So you got to take your money out.
Okay, that brings me to a really good question. The question is, why did the scammer transfer the money into Celcom? Because it's exponentially more difficult to get money out from a company's account.
Yeah, and then some people are saying, is Celcom part of the scam?
Okay, or is Celcom... Okay, so do you want to answer both questions? Okay, answer the second question first. Is Celcom part of the scam?
Definitely not, because why would you want to scam and then transfer the money to your own company account? And company account, everything is audited, everything is recorded, all eyes are on it. How are you going to get the money out from the Celcom account?
Yeah, and
that's unlikely. And also for Celcom side, right? The one of the fact of the matter is why they act very quickly to get money out is because they don't have anything to do with this money.
Yes. Okay. So let me explain. Number one, relatively speaking, RM1 million is nothing to Celcom lah. To be honest.
Yeah, but it still rings.
It's money
bells.
lah, but it's nothing for a company that has revenues in billions. RM1 million is probably one advertising campaign budget, or less, or more actually, or less.
But that's okay if it's accounted for. Like, this money is for what? It's like, for example, this money coming in, it's from a customer.
Okay, so
it's
the other
bill.
thing, yes, you're right. And the other thing I wanted to explain is, what Celcom does not want to get involved in is money laundering.
Yes.
So it's possible that, again, not victim blaming here, okay? I hope I make it very clear. I'm not blaming the victim at all. I'm just discussing the theories and possibilities here so that we all are informed. So what Celcom doesn't want to get involved in is money laundering. So it's possible that I transfer RM1 million into Celcom as part of a money laundering. I can say, it's bill, right? So obviously it wouldn't be RM1 million. It would be, maybe small amounts, but a lot of transaction. It could be like that. So Celcom doesn't want to get involved in that. That's why they transfer the money out really quickly, because it's very easily traceable.
Yep.
500,000 out from that transaction into this account, just send it back. So they reverse it. They reversed it in one day.
Yes.
And for you to do that for this amount of money is quite difficult, to be honest, because they have like checks and approvals. I think $1 million, maybe the CEO doesn't have to approve, maybe the CFO, or maybe just a general manager. I don't know, but like I said, it's not a big amount, but the process is there. Then why did this so-called scammer transfer that amount of money into Celcom?
From the looks of it, this is what I feel is because after getting the username and password, after trying to get OTP, because the businessman said that he refused to give the OTP, which I believe so, because if the perpetrator gets OTP from, I don't know, malware or phishing or all that, right, he could have just transferred money out to another account.
Yes, easily.
But,
quickly and easily.
But this shows that the person or behind this attack didn't have OTP. So the only thing that he can do is to transfer to safe pay your billers.
Yes, and we've discussed, right? So once you put in the
Safe,
account, right, and you can transfer it, you don't need OTP. And maybe you don't even get a transaction, this one, because it depends on your setting, right?
Yes,
you don't
correct.
even get a notification.
Yeah.
And we also know that there is theoretically no limit.
Yes.
You set the limit.
And it's already pre-authorized before that.
Wow, we sound like we are CSI.
So that's the only thing you can do to, let's say, to make his life difficult lah.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel that the scammer tried to transfer money out, couldn't get OTP. So you know what? Let's just make his life difficult and let me just transfer out to a safe biller.
Not so dramatic, but okay, not so dramatic. And okay, I wanna let's wrap this up nicely.
Yes.
Let's wrap this up nicely. I think DAP and all that is overreacting to say the government should look into all these things. Everything the government must look. I mean, it's politicizing stuff, lah.
It's not okay. The reason why you say politicizing is because it's a political party. But for me, is they did raise a valid concern because, to be honest, the bank didn't really address the problem carefully. The only statement I saw that they were sent to the media was that they confirmed that their system was compromised. That's it. Basically, our system is okay. They didn't comment further than that because
they confirmed that their system was compromised or wasn't
compromised.
Okay.
So basically, their system is secure. There's no breach.
It's safe, lah.
Safe.
Yep.
Yes, that's it.
Yep.
So they couldn't comment beyond that because normally in this kind of issues, the bank couldn't comment on a specific case.
Okay, I just want to get this. Okay, yeah, of course. Plus, it's a huge amount of money, right?
Yeah,
Again, $1 million ringgit.
Anyway, as we discussed, right, it all works out. I think all the security in place works. Just that so happened that this situation happened because, like, for example, why would a scammer want to pay your bills?
Yes. Okay. Hold on to that thought. I think that's a good ending to this show, and I want you to wrap it up that way. But okay, I just want to get it out of the way that this is politicizing. But I want to come back to your point where this is actually a success story because I think the victim was smart and careful enough not to divulge their OTP.
Yeah.
Because we mentioned like a huge number of scam cases, successful scam cases happen because the victim themselves willingly divulged the information, whether it is knowingly or unknowingly. They provided the information, and that makes it easier for the scammers to transfer the money out into another bank account. So that's what I wanted to say.
Right, but for me, is the valid point is that because this thing happened, right, and then money return, case closed. It didn't answer the fundamental question: how did it happen? I think that's something that the public should know.
Yeah,
and I think with this discussion, I think we more or less explain why
we solved the case.
Kind of, yeah.
Cue CSI music.
So I think that's something that the public deserves to know. Like, there is this opportunity that there's this section for bill payments that has no limit.
Yes.
So that's how it is possible.
Yes.
Because you think about it, right? Who would want to transfer using bill? You want to scam, you transfer out. So that's security measures are in place. So that's why the money wasn't transferred to some random mule account.
Yep.
So that shows that the bank system works.
Yep.
It's just that so happened that this unlikely situation that a scammer will come in and help you pay your bill happen.
Yeah.
So there's a few things we can learn from this, I feel. Firstly is that, as you mentioned, you can set limits to billers.
Yes.
So if you're scared that one day someone will get into your account and help you pay your bills, you can set individual limits in place. It's actually in the settings. You can set the limits for specific bill payments.
For Maybank, for other banks, I don't know how to. But you can.
You can. For Maybank, you can.
Yes.
Yeah, you can. If you scared that thing happen.
Yeah.
So the second thing is that if you sense your bank account is being compromised or someone doing something funny, right? Maybank has recently introduced a feature called the Kill Switch.
Yes.
So if you get this kind of calls, right, you feel like, okay, something's going on. Quickly go into your account and activate the kill switch. So what it does, it will block all access to your online banking immediately. So if let's say the scammer's halfway through, right, he will be logged out.
Yep.
So that's the two key takeaways.
Yes. I want to add on some stuff. This is like, okay, some of it is personal observation. Another one is, I think, is very critical component. So I'll go to the critical component at the end. One of my personal observations is this. I feel that of all the banks, local banks at least, I think Maybank is probably one of the best in terms of the online implementation. I wouldn't so I want to be careful here. I'm not saying they're perfect. They're one of the best because sometimes Maybank has system down and whatever. But the security wise, May and everything, I think they're clean, they're reliable, they're good, and that is a testament to their focus towards safety, security, and whatever, right?
Yep.
Now, can it be done better? Yes, I think Maybank can be more responsible to about what happened, because one of the only reason why this happened was it was something that they didn't consider would happen.
Yep.
That people would transfer huge amount of money out into into a company's account via the billing function.
Yes.
So they didn't feel that who in their right mind will do that.
Yes.
And because of that, they didn't put the limit. And while Maybank has issued a statement, they didn't provide an answer whether they will set a limit to the bill pay. And for me, that is a huge concern, because the least that Maybank could do was say that, okay, our system is not compromised, but because all the facts are out, they already know that it's already transferred to Celcom.
Yep.
So the least that they can do is based on what has been reported, we recommend that you set a limit to your billing transactions.
Yes.
And they didn't do that.
Yeah.
So I think that's where Maybank made a mistake.
Yes, because there's a lot of speculation out there. Because some say, how could you transfer such a big amount? Some say that, inside job lah, got security compromise lah.
Yeah.
So you're not convincing the people. You should provide confidence. This is what this special advisor was saying lah. You should instill confidence system. Like, if your system is secure, explain how this is happen.
Yeah, that's true. But this fella, again, a bit dramatic lah. Okay, that's personal opinion. He put all this in the statement. You can read it on our website. We're going to put the statement in the link below. But at the end of the day, I agree. He's pressing for Maybank to be more responsible. And then, he's pressing the government, the BNM and whatever. But for me, it shouldn't be like a special case lah, right? Somebody lost $1 million, because there's last year, I don't know how many people lost a lot of money. The National Scam Recovery Center, Response Center, whatever, right, was only able to recover 1.4 million ringgit in 2022. That means so assuming that is like maybe 10%, whatever the success rate is, right? You have 100 million up in the air, unaccounted for, that cannot be recovered. So there shouldn't be like a special case lah, right?
It's not a special case lah. Like how you mentioned in the statement towards the end, right? It said this is a happy ending for Mr. Lee, but the fight for better security features by bank continues, because there are many other consumers out there who've been scammed. Okay, like it's an example lah. But have not received a refund of the money.
Okay. It's an example lah.
Yeah.
But it's not the same case.
It's not the same case. But I would say that he's lucky because he didn't divulge the OTP.
No, yes, correct. And he also and it's also a product of the bank's tight security system, except for that thing where it's unlimited for you to transfer into a bill account.
Yeah, just like even we don't know about it. It's even possible.
So to wrap it up, kudos to the victim for not divulging the OTP. I think kudos to the public representative here, right, the AP, for raising the concern and being able to get the money back. I think, whatever my perception is, we want to be fair and impartial here, right? I think they did their job because they got the money back. So kudos to that. Where I have an issue is Maybank. So Maybank, the cookie cutter statement, not going to cut it, because it doesn't help anybody. Yeah. It doesn't help the people who could be a potential victim to this. Or it could also mean that scammers now know that there is a loophole there, and they could then just hack at that loophole and try to figure out, right?
Yep.
Because it's a matter of just getting your name on that list to be approved, right?
Yep.
So what if a scammer can create like a fake company, get it approved, and it's possible for you to get that 500, that 1 million ringgit out?
Very, very unlikely, but it's a potential if they want to go all that lens lah.
But it's unlikely also because I have to request to want to pay to this company.
Yes, correct.
It doesn't happen.
It's very, very unlikely. But I would agree with you. At least, Maybank should really issue a statement to really address the concerns, because there's a lot of speculation out there. Like, for example, if another scam case happen again, normal lah, this bank always got scam. But I think it's not. It's like, there are securities in place, but they're not making the clear statement to reassure people that, this is what happened. Yeah. This is actually what we have, and then this is what we're going to address. You're going to implement limits for bill payments, because let's say set 5,000 for example bill payments. Most nobody pay more than 5,000.
Yeah. And there's nothing stopping them from putting a limit.
Yeah. They can do that and then address concerns, because if they don't issue a statement, people will go on with this narrative say, they got inside job lah. Yeah. No matter how secure, I got someone inside to help you approve the OTP.
No such thing.
That's what people are speculating online. So that's why I feel that Maybank should step up, because netizens lah. They like
netizens are the best, man.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like more can be done to address this nonsense sentiment.
Okay, let us clear the air once and for all before we end the show. Number one, it's not an inside job. Number two, Celcom's not in it.
Yeah. You can't transfer money through the phone call.
Yeah. Number three, don't be afraid to answer phone calls, because you're not gonna lose money that way. Yep. Okay, that's that. Now, biggest lesson here is good. Do not share your OTP. Some weirdo, whether it's Post Malaysia, LHDN, police, the army, the king, whatever.
Don't share OTP.
Yes, because they try to prey on your. What's the word?
Fear.
No, not fear. Okay, fear one.
They try to call you. Yeah.
Your greed. Sir, we got a package coming to your house.
We need OTP.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know how to scam. I don't want to pretend to know how to scam. But, I know for a fact that is the narrative that that the scammers say.
Yes.
Oh, we got a package, but you have to pay this amount to release the package.
Yep.
You don't even know you have a package, but you're so greedy, right?
Yes,
it's like, this could be something. It could be like a car or whatever it is. And you just let your guard down.
Same last time, Tanya, you just won 1 million ringgit. Yay! I didn't join, but yay!
Yeah, I think the reason why this is just trying to be funny. The reason why this victim is so careful is because he doesn't need a new car or new package. He has 1 million ringgit in his account
or more.
It's like I don't wanna attend to all this bullshit.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's pretty much. Anything else you want to add before we close the show?
Well, stay safe, and always, if you get scammed or someone who got scammed, call 997 immediately as soon as possible, so you have higher chance of recovering your money.
Yeah. That's a good advice. Call 997. 997. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it, guys. If you're listening to us if you want to listen to us on podcast, we are available. Just search for Let's Talk About on your favorite podcast platform, and we are there. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up if you like the show. Drop us a comment. What do you think of today's show? You have any questions about scam? Do you think if you want us to cover more topics about scam, or you have a question, or you want a myth that's debunked, you want a myth to be debunked, maybe you want to drop our voice note or our YouTube link in your family's WhatsApp group to say, hello, auntie, uncle, makcik, pakcik, all, please watch this YouTube video and don't get scammed. Let us know in the comment section. More than happy to do more shows for you guys. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. If you're listening to us on podcasts, give us a 5-star rating if you like it, because that helps the show. And if you want to drop a comment, drop us a voice note at
Let's Talk About at soyachincha.com.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. This is me, Amin.
And this is Alex.
Catch you guys later. Bye.